welcome all this brand new edition of 5 Round MMA. My name is Alex Ramirez, alongside my awesome co-host Albert Cita and Guillermo Cita. How's it going, guys?
It's going good. Pretty excited from that card we just had.
You just got the Conor McGregor Irish coffee hangover?
It's the fighting Irish time.
Albert,
it's the Irish invasion.
Irish hangover?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The next day, I felt like I woke up a little bit hungover. I was like, dude, I didn't even drink the night before.
Conor McGregor has that effect on the masses and MMA fans. So we're talking about that today. UFC Fight Night, McGregor versus Siver. Play a little hashtag game, but I want to thank our fine line of sponsors. First, starting with Rock and Green eco-friendly cleaning products, 5 Round clothing lines, and of course the RMA Foundation, Redemption Martial Arts. Without their help, none of this show would be possible. So let's get started right away with the hashtag game, guys. You guys ready to play some hashtag game?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, so this one I'm going to read off a few events news events that happened in the world of MMA, and I want Albert and Guillermo to give it a nice little hashtag because we are in the era of hashtag.
Can we make just a quick rule? Can we not hashtag the time is now?
Okay, no, hashtag time is now. Actually, if you guys do that, you're disqualified from the game.
Okay.
All right, so first one, Scott Coker and Bellator MMA are at it again. They announced the last fight that they have signed infamous heavyweight Kimbo Slice to a multi-fight contract. Bellator officials are aiming for a summer debut for Slice. So, Guillermo, give me a hashtag for Bellator signing of Kimbo Slice.
What was he known for? It was like street fighting?
Yeah.
Hashtag street fight.
Hashtag street fight. Come on.
Matter of fact, our technician on the big game has volumes 1 and 2. So.
Oh yeah, best of Kimbo
he is
Slice.
our Kimbo Slice specialist.
Albert, give me a hashtag.
It's hashtag. If it was good enough for the UFC to do, it's good enough for Bellator.
Hashtag good enough.
Hashtag good enough.
You guys like this another stunt move for Bellator?
I don't think so, but. Yes and no. One, because he has a big name. Second, I think they're just trying to do stuff that I feel the UFC can't really point their finger at them.
Okay.
If UFC says, "Oh, look at them, a circus down there," well, guess what? You signed the circus first.
Yeah. True. All right. So second one, along with signing Kimbo Slice, Bellator President Scott Coker has said that the company is interested in former UFC and Pride heavyweight Mirko Cro Cop. So all these rumors and potential signs of fighters who are past their prime has Bellator looking hashtag what, Albert?
Hashtag Pride days are over.
Pride days are over? Guillermo, give me a hashtag.
Hashtag past their prime.
Past their prime. So this is kind of getting to what I was talking about, almost the stunts, right? Publicity stunts for Bellator?
I think so. I mean, you look at Tito Ortiz, Stephan Bonner, now Kimbo Slice, now Fedor Emelianenko.
Oh yeah, I didn't hear that.
Well, he was taking pictures of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, New Year's, wasn't it? Yeah. Scott Coker.
So there's rumors on that too.
I will say this: Scott Coker wasn't known in the MMA world with Strikeforce until he signed Fedor Emelianenko.
Yeah.
So maybe he's like, hey, the recipe worked once. Let's try it again. Who cares?
Well, I think all in common too with Fedor, Kimbo Slice, and Cro Cop, they're all heavyweights, and I can't even.
And they have a weak heavyweight division.
I can't even name 2 heavyweights in Bellator.
And then the other thing is Cro Cop. I know he's good friends with Fedor. I know they fought together, but when you see pictures of Scott Coker, especially on Instagram, and you see Fedor Emelianenko right next to him, right in the back in the shadows is Cro Cop for some reason. It's like these guys fought, but they seem like really close friends outside the cage.
So maybe with these guys, and then also I know Bob Lashley's hurt right now, but he's also in the heavyweight division. Maybe they're trying to get some Maybe they're saying, okay, no, we don't have the deepest heavyweight division, but we'll have some names you guys recognize.
I will give this to Scott Coker. I think he knows the money's in the heavyweight division because after he did his big old Grand Prix, I think that's when the whole UFC thing just
which is a big gimmick as well, right?
And it also seems like Scott Coker is a fighter's
fighter's president.
Yeah, like he's for the fight. He's trying to create this environment. Like, hey, I don't care what you got done in the past.
Or do we have another Eazy-E Eric Bischoff?
All right, so the third one. Reports broke out that John Jones' rehab stint lasted all but 1 day. And since then, he stated, I'm not a cocaine addict. You know, it was a mistake. I think he has a big interview with Fox Sports, which we're not seeing because we're recording pre-till. So now that the dust is settled and we've seen this kind of play out in the long run, John Jones' drug test situation is hashtag what, Albert?
Hashtag stupid.
Stupid?
Because this whole situation's stupid. It's stupid that he took it. It's stupid that they even freaking try to put him in rehab if he didn't have a problem.
Yeah.
It's stupid that the UFC won't man up and punish him. It's stupid that he's going to be on Fox. So
yeah.
Hashtag stupid.
Give me hashtag.
Hashtag publicity stunt. From what I've been reading, all I know is that John Jones was advised to go to this rehab just so he looks good in the public image.
Yeah.
Little do we know he was only there for 24 hours. It's just to look good in the public view.
It's even funny too. Yeah, I think his mother said that he was only in there for a day.
It was his mother that ratted him out.
Yeah, but then also didn't want to say no, she's wrong. the full story's going to come out. So he's already contradicting John Jones' mother, but not saying why she's wrong. So I get a big old mess.
Yeah, according to her, what she says, she just wants John Jones to get better.
Yeah, of course. It's her baby boy.
Yeah.
So next one. A couple weeks ago, former WWE wrestler and current UFC fighter, I guess he's under contract, so he's a current UFC fighter. CM Punk announced the fight camp he intends to train with in preparation for his UFC debut. Punk will train with Rufus Sport, which is headed by Duke Rufus and is home to notable fighters such as Anthony and Sergio Pettis, and of course Ben Askren. So CM Punk joining Rufus Sport is hashtag what, Guillermo?
Hashtag Showtime kick.
Showtime kick?
Expect CM Punk to do the Showtime kick.
Give me a hashtag, Albert.
It's hashtag it's bashing time. Is that what he says? Or
it's clobbering time. Hashtag clobbering time.
Hashtag clobbering time. Because he has not only the most effective striker in his corner. I think he has probably one of the best wrestlers in his corner at the weight limit that he wants to fight in. And I feel like it's a disadvantage when fighters fight or train with people not in their weight class, because this is a big positive, because he sees someone in his potential weight class to train with.
So I remember one of the things CM Punk was saying, I want to find a fight camp that's not filled with guys who are purposely trying to hurt me. And also, I think Duke Rufus's camp has kind of had reports in the past of being too rough. Yeah. I think Pat Barry left because he said there's like bullying tactics there. So you think it's kind of a good move for CM Punk?
Well, I think Showtime Pettis actually came out on Instagram. It's funny because I follow these guys on Instagram. He had a black eye. Oh, yeah. He said, training goes hard. Even the champion comes out with the black eye. Yeah. So, I mean, like you said, it seems like they train hard, but I think he's under special conditions. It's like, no, let's bring him on. Let's show him properly. Let's not bully him. And, let's show him what we got.
Yeah, I honestly think it was a win-win for both. CM Punk wanted a legit camp.
It is a legit camp.
And then at the same time, I think Rufus Sports also wants to show the world, like, hey, whatever Pat Barry said about this fighter that passed away because, supposedly it was because of our ignorance or whatever, it's not true, because guess what? CM Punk's going to tell him how the training camp is, and I think it's a win-win for both, and it's a whole.
The other thing is Rufus Sports is not really known that it's not well known compared to the other ones.
Pettis,
AKA American Top Team, Alpha Male. It's not well known. Yeah, it's well known within the fighting realm, but I think CM Punk brings more attention, especially if he's successful.
Yeah. All right, so last one. Speaking of the Pettis family, Sergio Pettis has announced that his next fight will take place in the UFC's flyweight division. At 21 years old, he was competing at the bantamweight division. We're kind of floating on the radar now. So now they jumped down to 125. Pretty big impact. So Pettis moving down to flyweight is hashtag what, Albert?
Hashtag need to be quicker than that. Because, I always thought he was a smaller fighter. Even at 135, he looked like a flyweight. So I had no idea why he was at 135. I think it's a smart move. Flyweights. I can only think of 5, so the more flyweights that join, the better.
Yeah. Hashtag what, Guillermo?
Hashtag learning curve.
Learning
I think
curve.
That's a good one.
He's 21 years old. He has a lot of room to grow. He tried something that he probably wasn't successful in. He drops down. It's a learning curve. Hopefully he does become successful, and later on, as he matures, his body starts to develop a little bit more, he'll jump back up to 135.
Those Pettises, they don't want to cut weight, don't they?
I guess not. All right, so that's it for the hashtag game. I will consult with Big Game on who the winner is during the break. So take a break right now. We'll have the most notorious segment in 5-round MMA history coming up. Stick around, guys.
Please visit FiveRoundMMA.com on our social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. FiveRoundMMA.com.
The legend of Conor McGregor is growing strong. UFC Fight Night, McGregor versus Siver is in the books, and it took not 2 minutes but 2 rounds for McGregor to finish Siver. It was probably the most ovacious crowd, non-Canadian crowd, right? Yeah. That reminded me of an old GSP fight in Canada, the way that TD Garden was with Boston. So UFC Fight Night, I want to get you guys' initial thoughts on the card as a whole.
I thought the last fight was great, but other than that, it was really uneventful, to be honest.
Kind of an awkward fight, huh?
I thought it had good moments, but not good fights. Yeah. I think the Benson Henderson Cerrone match kind of summed up the whole night, where there's a lot of expectation, but there's only good moments.
So, any standout performances other than McGregor?
Of course. To be honest, first I was impressed by Benson Henderson. I don't know how he lost that, but
well, say that. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, I know, but that's why I didn't want to elaborate too much on it. But I was impressed by Benson Henderson coming out. I was impressed by Lawrence Larkin, and then what's his name?
Uriah Hall? No.
But he
almost took a man's eye out.
Yeah, but the guy had 1 week, 2 week notice.
Less than a week. Actually,
I wasn't impressed. The guy that beat Norman Park, I can't think of his name.
Gleason Tibau.
Gleason Tibau.
He's been around for a while.
Yeah, I was actually impressed by Gleason Tibau because because Norman Park came out and it seemed like even after the fight he thought he had won the fight.
I thought a lackluster fight. Like I was texting Alex at the time and I was like, dude, it's a snort fest.
If you guys go to our Instagram account, we do the picks for every fight card, and Albert refused to make a pick for that fight because he's for that exact same reason.
I told you, I really did not see that as an exciting matchup, and I don't think it was.
Yeah, but
not enough to pick a winner at random. So, anyways, go.
The reason I was impressed by Gleason Tibau is because Norman Park was, obviously he was hometown because he's from Ireland, but he has his hype. Just like Conor McGregor, but I think
28 years old. It was really more like for him to kind of celebrate.
He only had 2 losses going into the.
Yeah, but he was on a run, and then Gleason Tibau said like, "No, you ain't getting past me."
Yeah.
And it was kind of more of manhandling to me.
So, what about you? Any standouts besides McGregor?
I just want to go back to Lawrence Larkin because I think if anybody has ever listened to her show after a Lawrence Larkin fight, I think we've been preaching to the choir here that. We always thought he was a 170-pound fighter, and he looked phenomenal at 170. And I mean, we've been saying it since the very beginning. He's only 28 years old. So this last
he said Norman Park is only 28 years old. That's referring to as old, and now Lawrence Larkin's young because he's only 28 years old.
Gibson Tibau. So you got it wrong.
Tibau's like 35.
He's like 47, dude. Anyways, he was in a 3-loss streak, so he really needed this win badly. And what a way to get this launching pad at this.
And also,
weight class.
Larkin is 1-0 in the welterweight division, and champion Robbie Lawler, he does own a win over him in Strikeforce. So I know it doesn't really mean much now because it's a Strikeforce. Nothing is at middleweight. Yeah. But he does own a win over the now champion. So, I want to jump to the co-main event: Donald Cerrone against Benson Henderson. I'm going straight up. Was Benson Henderson robbed?
Yes, he was. Do you want me to
elaborate?
Please. I think in this show, that's what we do best is elaborate.
Oh, well, I'm just answering his question. But Benson Henderson was robbed. I think Cowboy Cerrone had no answer for whatever Benson was doing. I mean, like leg kick for leg kick. Leg kick for leg kick. Benson Henderson was getting the most out of him. And there was a couple of Donald Cerrone's that landed, but not compared to the hard hits of Benson Henderson.
So before Albert answers, I want everybody to know that he actually picked Cowboy Cerrone to win this fight. So was Benson Henderson robbed?
I'm not going to say he was robbed. I'll say because of this. I felt that each fighter had their moments in the fight. Yeah, I feel Benson Henderson had better moments, I think. But at the end of the day, I think it was a lackluster fight. I think they really didn't leave it all on the octagon. And because of that, it could have went either way, and I wouldn't have been upset at all. So I think Benson Henderson, I wouldn't even say it's a rob because I feel he didn't even perform a way where you wanted the win.
Yeah. Honestly, it's kind of a shame that I wasn't even surprised when they announced the
Yeah, you kind of felt it, huh? Yeah, I was like, I think a lot of people think Benson Henderson's going to win, but
that's not a knock on him. It's a knock on how horrible MMA judges become.
Yeah. Just because he got those 2 takedowns.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, he probably won it because 2 takedowns. And it's a shame that I'm not as surprised and outraged whenever a bad decision is called anymore because it's so common and it's ridiculous. And you think that the UFC or maybe as the collection as a whole, maybe because we don't notice it too much in Bellator or World Series of Fighting or the other organizations, but it's a big deal when a bad judge makes a decision in the UFC. And it's a shame that these don't get together and try to do something for the judging, but I guess you...
And then the other thing is that I really wonder if their friendship really played a part into the fight.
That's according to Don Cerrone, like they were like shaking hands and hugging before they even walked out to the octagon.
Yeah, so. If you watch them better, they were very buddy-buddy.
So I wonder if those kicks were 100% or 90%.
Well, we have seen before when they're that buddy-buddy. I mean, let's go back to, Pat Barry versus Crow Cop.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a freaking hug fest. I think they hugged more than they actually fought. And you saw how that fight turned out to be.
Is their friendship something new, or has there always been friends? Last time I remember, I don't think Henderson had a problem choking out Cowboy Cerrone in the last fight. So, I mean, it must be like a new friendship,
I think it's
right?
a mutual respect kind of thing that they have. Since I think all these WEC guys have some kind of bond together, knowing that they brought up the organization and they're kind of like the newcomers. They're the invasion of the UFC.
I like it. A little chip on the shoulder, huh?
Yeah. Well, they took over the UFC, to be honest.
So I want to jump to the main event. Before we talk to the whole the actual fight itself, I want to ask you guys, because something I noticed during yesterday's fight night, the whole broadcast was basically the Conor McGregor show, right?
Yeah.
Every commercial break was a vignette featuring McGregor. He got his own entrance. The Irish flag colors were draped all over. It was basically the McGregor show, right? So it's got me thinking: are we now entering the new era of the UFC where they are protecting? Not it's be so blatant and totally biased to their stars, the John Jones, the Ronda Rouseys, the Cain Velasquez, Anthony Pettis, the McGregor, and the rest of the fighters are just fighters in the UFC.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if you look at it, they could have easily. It's funny because that you mentioned this because somebody texted me right after. Is like, why don't they put Frankie Edgar against that guy instead of Dennis Siver or what's not Cub Swanson, I forgot who else. Ricardo Lamas. Yeah. Why don't they put him up against Conor McGregor to solidify that title shot for Jose Aldo? It's right now. I'm impressed. I'm the biggest Conor McGregor fan. I was impressed by what he did with Dennis Siver, but I do think they're protecting Conor McGregor because they could have thrown him to the wolves. Here's Chad Mendes. Here's Ricardo Lamas. Here's Frankie Edgar. Here's Dennis Bermudez. Handle these guys, and then of course you deserve a title. But no, they go. It seems like they went the slow path. Yeah. And Conor McGregor's mouth did all the talking, and then Dana White said, "You know what? I want to win or get as much money as I can with this without this guy getting a loss."
Yeah, and there's no question to that. Who has the exclusive Reebok deal? Ronda Rousey, John Jones, McGregor, and Anthony Pettis, right? Yeah, those were announced like right after they signed the deal with the UFC. So you kind of see what I'm going at, right?
Yeah, but I wouldn't say this is a new era. Yeah, it's the same game plan being.
But it seems since the day of it seems they're more blatant about it now. Like they're not going to hide it. These are our fighters. We're going to brand the UFC all over Ronda Rousey's trunks and John Jones' trunks, and everybody else fend for yourself.
I think since the Chuck Liddell
days, I was going to say Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz,
Forrest Griffin. I think he really spoon-fed a lot of people, and you can tell who he likes, who he doesn't like, who he doesn't care for. Yeah. But I will say one thing. I will be devil's advocate here when you guys say, "Oh, I saw it was Conor McGregor." You gotta keep in mind too. They picked a horrible weekend to do this because. I mean, it's football season. It's an all-time high.
You don't know that the Patriots are going to make it to the AFC Championship.
That's what I'm trying to tell you is it's an all-time high, and they got to compete with the NFL. And NFL has been a long time. And they're like, hey, we got to go with our bread and butter here. We need to promote the heck out of it because we're going to end up not having not have anybody show up and watch the show. So I don't blame them for pushing so much Conor McGregor this card because they're up against a big franchise out there. But at the same time, I think it's the same old thing. I mean, we seen Chuck Liddell, Forrest Griffin. Between
just so blatant now. Like we're gonna plaster our logo over John Jones and nobody else's. It's kind of like I think it's not a coincidence that they're doing this, especially now with the labor lawsuit that's going to be held against them. And like you said, it is a battle between the 1% and everybody else, right? Because obviously McGregor, the Ronda Rousey, Anthony Pettis, they're not going to go against the UFC because they're getting theirs. They're feeding. They're taking a bite with theirs. As everybody else fends for themselves. So I think it's kind of like the whole...
I also feel bad for Dennis Siver. It felt like a bashing, not only from Conor McGregor, but from Joe Rogan, from the UFC, from Dana White. Yeah. It was pretty much like...
a lamb with a slaughter, basically.
Yeah. Right? I felt really bad for him.
Let's talk about the fight now as a whole. Now, you guys have always been McGregor fans now, right?
Oh, I am.
Yeah, so basically people... I think... Is this the performance now that will at least people get more on the bandwagon, or to give more haters?
I think I don't know if he has any haters. I haven't met one Conor McGregor hater to him.
I don't think you've been reading Twitter, bro. Because
he has a lot of haters.
He has a lot of haters
within the fighting community. Yes.
Yeah.
Amongst the fans, I haven't really seen that much hating. I think it's more. I see more bandwagon than hating.
No, I guess if you were. I agree with that, but I think it did both. I think we got a lot more haters, but we also have a lot more fans now. Yeah. I do think there's more fans than haters, but trust me, there's a lot of Conor haters,
especially Brazilians now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Oh, so what do you guys think of that? The whole going over the cage and getting in Aldo's face.
Again, publicity stunt. Yeah. I knew he wasn't gonna do nothing. Again, after the fight, after he got interviewed. Oh, I was gonna destroy that Brazilian. Yeah. He wasn't. He had the chance to get it in his face to punch him, but he didn't do it.
He could have staged
Jose Aldo was surrounded by two women.
Yeah. I come from a pro wrestling background as far as being a fan. As far as being a fan, this part that frustrates me when Dana White tries to separate them. It's the same thing. When they jump the fences and get in the guy's face, I get pumped up. So if all I needed was a chair shot, and I would have already called and ordered the pay-per-view right there and then.
All I needed to see was Scott Hall coming down through the crowd and jumping over the barricade and announcing NWO's.
When Steven Seagal comes out, I don't know why he doesn't milk that thing to the fullest. I love it. I can't wait to see Chuck Norris come out. I'm telling you, I love it.
And the fact that Jose Aldo didn't flinch and smile the whole time, he knew that it was an act.
So basically, Conor McGregor he probably won a minute, but he probably saw some professional wrestling growing up, right? He's basically taking what Chael Sonnen did into the next level. And this is part where if Chael Sonnen was 10 years younger entering the UFC, this is probably exactly what we saw, right?
Yeah.
But the fact that Chael was a little older by the time he got his shot at the prime time, but now we're seeing a young guy who can articulate, who's not afraid to go be the showstopper.
Don't be surprised you see Uriah Hall coming from the Raptors next
Exactly, because he was kind of laying on pretty thick too, wasn't he? After his post-fight fight, so I think the McGregor era is now officially upon us. This might be the year of Conor McGregor. Again, we called it, right?
Yeah, I say he's to be the champ for 2015.
So we shall see. I think the target is in May, I believe. Well, it's not confirmed yet.
They said May in Las Vegas.
So
they just haven't said an official date. But
I like that.
May
you like that? If potential Vegas, not like in Brazil.
Yes, I like it.
Boston
I love
or
it.
Ireland.
I love it in Las Vegas. It's a neutral site, and then where's your bread and butter? The United States.
Yeah.
So that's Vegas, where you get the most buys. People will be in Vegas all week. Yeah. Believe me, that thing is gonna sell like you wouldn't believe.
Yep. So I think that's it for this week's show. We got a ton of fights still to come up. We got Alexander Gustafsson versus Anthony Johnson.
Phil Davis beats Brian Bader.
Then a week after that, we got the return.
Saucy Henderson.
Oh yeah, about a week after that, we got the return of the Spider against Nick Diaz. We saw a lot of commercials for that over this broadcast. But I think now we're kind of getting the holiday break for MMA is over now. Now we're getting full chug. I mean, the World Series of Fighting and Bellator both had a card this weekend.
Yeah, so, it seems like they kind of gone missing for a little while.
Well, I mean, because the UFC had Conor McGregor on Sunday, but the day before, World Series of Fighting Jake Shields. So that should go with that.
I was about to say
but before that card of Jake Shields, when was the last time World Series of Fighting had a card?
I think they had one a couple weeks ago. But then
Donald Strauss.
Bellator had a good counter with this are good with the Donald Strauss and Pitbull. Patricio Pitbull, so they're doing still what they got, but when you have Jake Shields the next day, Conor McGregor, I'm going to save myself for Conor McGregor. So that is it for today. I want to thank all of our sponsors: Rock and Green Cleaning Products, 5 Rounds Clothesline, the RMA Foundation. Until next week, please follow us on Twitter and Instagram at 5RoundMMA. Subscribe to us on iTunes, YouTube, and Podomatic. And a big thank you to all our listeners and fans. Guillermo and Albert, what do you got?
I just want to say, though I'm very excited that Macho Man is in the Hall of Fame, I think it's a shame and I think it's a dishonor that Hogan's going to be the guy inducting him. I think it should have been Mean Gene to induct Macho Man. That's just my personal opinion. I don't agree. I don't agree with Hogan doing it. But other than that, I'd like to thank everybody for listening.
And the executive producer and of course
Big Game over there.
Hey, before we leave, Big Game, who is today's Rock and Green star of the show? Presented by Rock and Green Eco-Friendly Cleaning Products.
Guillermo Cita.
Guillermo Cita.
Yeah, because he knows I'm the Macho Man fan here.
No, it's for the hashtag.
And
it's for the hashtags.
It's about time we get to the Hall of Fame. Oh, yeah! The cream of the crop.
About to get grimy.